Well, hello, hello. Here we are, another edition of the Orchid and Kato show. Orchid, you're feeling a little under the weather today.
Yeah.
I got the remedy. I got the medicine. A little bit of too sweet, huh? No. You don't want to feel better? This is the medicine right here.
No.
Give me a little too sweet.
Nah.
All right. Well, maybe by the end of this you'll feel a little better. You got the runny nose, stuffy chest. Please keep it on that side because I'm looking good, feeling good, loving life, okay? We're going to jump right into it. First thing we're going to talk about, Hell in a Cell, Brock Lesnar, big surprise return. What do you think?
I thought it was good. It was very shocking to me. I know I saw online that a lot of people weren't surprised about it, but it was surprising to me. I had no idea he was there. I guess there was rumors that he was backstage earlier in the night on Hell in a Cell, but I had no idea.
Yeah, I've been trying really hard to stay offline and not let things get spoiled for me. And this is one of the things that I didn't know. I sort of felt like maybe he wasn't going to come back. We were maybe done with Brock Lesnar.
I thought he was done for a while.
And I actually was fine with it. I was over Brock Lesnar. I'd had enough. Even though I was one of his biggest fans for a long time, I had enough. So I was good with him being gone. Do you think it's a good thing or bad thing that he's back?
I don't know. I am tired of seeing the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar angle. Give me something new.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Braun Strowman's going to be in that at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, but it's still the same match.
I have always complained about these fans, the hipster fans, but I'm starting to feel like I'm falling into that right now, where like I am really over Roman Reigns. Like I just. And again, I know I've said this show after show, but it's what he represents, maybe not him in particular. I'm over Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think, if we want to watch WWE, we're going to get a steady diet of Roman Reigns, but I mean, I've had enough.
Yeah. I think, and this ties into our next topic about Raw, but I think that, like, we keep seeing the same matches, and that's the biggest problem. I think if we saw Roman Reigns in a different angle, I think you wouldn't feel that way. But
Maybe.
We're seeing Roman Reigns in the same angle week in and week out, month after month after month. I mean, we're how far away from WrestleMania?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the case, but I don't know for sure because when he was doing that little bit of deal with Bobby Lashley, like I just didn't care.
But I mean, again, I liked the angle at the beginning, but towards the end, it was like same thing over and over and over again. Like, I think that's the kicker for me, is that we keep seeing the same thing over and over again.
As a whole, as far as Hell in the Cell goes, what do you think about the show?
I liked it.
Yeah, okay.
I thought it was good. I didn't enjoy that the Intercontinental and the U.S. Championship, they both weren't on there, and like I think that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. It didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, Seth Rollins was still on the show.
Yeah.
No Nakamura. This is what we talked about last week where is Nakamura in the world of wrestling? Now, he had a great match, and we'll talk about that later on Smackdown. But, yeah, that is so weird. Like, here's a guy, best in the world 2 years ago, most over guy in the world a year ago.
Yeah.
Absent from a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That is insane. So, as a whole, I thought Hell in a Cell was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, the main event was sort of flat to me, so, like, just as a whole.
You didn't think it was exciting? I mean, Seth Rollins and
that stuff
Ziggles fell off.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, but how many times at this point are we going to see guys fall off?
I mean, what else do you want, though? What do you want them to do on top of the cell?
I'm turned into this hipster. I've seen it. And, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired of the Hell in a Cell match. I mean, there would never be another match like the one that Foley had 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's only been 3 really, truly great Hell in a Cell matches, in my opinion. The first one, the first one, Undertaker and Shawn. The second one with Foley and Undertaker, the most famous match maybe ever.
Yeah.
And then there was another one with Foley and Triple H, who I thought was really great. But there's been lots of Hell in the Cells that were very mediocre at best. And I think both of those matches were sort of mediocre at best. I thought, the finish of the Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy one was sort of good.
Yeah.
But before that, they didn't give me a lot, in my opinion. I mean, they had the same match they could have had without the Cell being there. And that's a trap that I'm seeing fall into. And even the main event, as far as Roman and Braun's part of it,
right? They could have had that match.
They could have had that match without the cage,
right?
So I just don't think guys are trying hard enough to find ways to incorporate the cage.
Was it a little frustrating for you that Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman didn't really do anything with the cage? Like, they didn't really like go on top of the cage or climb the cage or do anything like that. Was that
frustrating? Yeah. I mean, I just felt like they didn't use the cage to the best of their ability.
Event at Hell in a Cell.
Maybe they thought just bringing Lesnar out was enough to really punctuate it, and why do anything crazy whenever nobody else was going to remember anything beyond Lesnar returning and those guys falling off the top of the cage. Like, that's what people remember.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they didn't do anything, but that's a lazy mentality. I mean, I always feel like if you're out there in front of the crowd, no matter what everybody else is doing, you should try to steal the show. And if everybody tries to steal the show, then the show is so much better. And they just went through the motions, in my opinion.
Right.
So, as far as Monday Night Raw goes, I did not enjoy it. There was not a lot of substance. It's what you talked about earlier. It's rehashing the same things over and over.
We saw Seth Rollins versus Ziggles again.
Yeah.
And it was a great match.
Yeah.
It was a great match. But I've seen that great match 10 times now.
Yeah.
If not more. Right. So, like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen enough of it. I mean, I like Elias. I've met Elias. I know Elias. I've been in a match with Elias before. So it's nothing against him. But I'm starting to feel a little like, let's do something with this guy.
Yeah. Like,
just coming out and singing and then doing nothing with him afterwards. Like, I'm sort of over that. I don't know. I just feel like they're not trying real hard on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they do have some good, compelling characters. I like Ronda Rousey when she's on television. I like Bayley and I like Sasha Banks when they're on television. I like I hate to say this out loud, but I've sort of come around to Kevin Owens a little bit. I like Braun Strowman when he's on television.
Yeah.
I love the guy that's with Zigglesworth right now, Drew McIntyre. I love Drew McIntyre when he's on television. There's lots of guys that I like, but what they're doing with them holds no substance for me. So
I agree with.
I don't know. It's a really hard to get through 3 hours of Monday night for whatever reason.
There's a lot of good people on Raw. They're just not doing anything with them.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that they'd kind of cycle through the people right now. I mean, we're seeing the same people week in and week out. I know there are plenty of other stars backstage that they're not using.
Yeah.
Why can't we bring them out and use them? Not as jobbers, but use them for something.
Right. And then you go the other direction completely. Smackdown has an equally very good roster. And to me, the storytelling and the pacing of the show last night was absolutely brilliant. I thought SmackDown was an exceptionally well-written show, an exceptionally well-paced show, an exceptionally well-executed show. I thought SmackDown was brilliant from beginning to end. I had no holes in it. I thought the Becky and Charlotte conclusion was fun and good. Yeah. And, I know they want Becky to be the heel in this situation. She's not. I mean, obviously by the crowd. And I hope that they'll figure that out eventually. Maybe they just don't care.
Right.
I mean, if this is the harder edge and people want to cheer for her, maybe that's what we're going to get.
Now, going on to our next topic about Becky and Charlotte, I've heard people calling Becky the new Stone Cold. Now, I know people say that about Ronda, that Ronda's the new Stone Cold, but I've been hearing it a lot more about Becky than I have been about Ronda. Yeah.
Okay. I've not heard that. Again, I'm sort of out of the loop of the internet. I could see it. When we did our list, I wasn't real high on Becky, but things are turning. I like this new harder edge to her.
Yeah.
And I like she's doing a better job with her face as a heel. So her style has really amped up as a result of turning heel. So this Becky Lynch I can get with. This Becky Lynch I can be on board with. And she doesn't need to cheat. She doesn't need to badmouth the fans, but if she keeps up this aggression and this attitude, I'm all in on Becky Lynch. I like her. I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. I think some of the other stuff that we saw on SmackDown was good. I thought everything was good. I thought Daniel Bryan and The Miz is the best thing on television right now to me. Like, I think it's so good and so compelling. And, we joked a while ago because Daniel Bryan said it. We don't have faith that the WWE writers are going to be able to extend this thing till WrestleMania. Tell you what, man, we're in September, at the end of September now.
Yeah.
This thing is at least going into October. I don't know. You heard me say last night, please, please, please let The Miz win the number one contendership. Then go on, win the WWE title from AJ Styles. Then Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. And then we get the main event of Daniel Bryan versus... It's a bear attack. It's fine. Don't worry about that. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know what more I could ask for. It seems perfect to me.
I agree. I think it's going to be great. I look for Samoa Joe to win against AJ Styles. I really do. So I don't think you're going to get your dream, but I think that we'll get something maybe.
So out of the 4 matches that are possible, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan versus Joe, Miz versus AJ Styles, Miz versus Samoa Joe. Which of those for the title would you most want to see?
I think Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles would have a great match.
Sometimes baby versus baby match can be a little bit boring.
Right, because you don't really have somebody to cheer for.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I say give me Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles.
Oh, you mean The Miz and...
The Miz and... Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Miz and AJ Styles for the title.
I don't like watching The Miz. Like, I like watching him when he's with Daniel Bryan, but I don't...
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. He works like a great heel to me. I really like Daniel... Or I like The Miz, so...
Yeah.
Let's close on the last part. This is your topic. You never, ever, ever get tired of talking about Rusev Day. I think we sort of foreshadowed this for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
It finally happened. How did you feel about Aiden English turning on Rusev?
I didn't like it. I think I enjoyed the Aiden English talking to that like producer guy with the headset and like she doesn't know what she's talking about. She should be just a wife and not a manager and blah 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 blah. I like that part, and I like the Lana part, wanting to go tell Rusev. I wish they would have drugged that out.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right.
They should have drug it out for a while, at least another week.
Yeah.
And why couldn't he win the U.S. title? I mean, you're not doing anything with Nakamura. Why couldn't you give it to Rusev?
If Rusev wins the title, then it really doesn't...
do anything for Nakamura.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for Nakamura, and it also doesn't do anything to extend their feud of Aiden English and Rusev.
Yeah.
This is a better way of
you could have
getting into that feud.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't enjoy that they broke them up. I think that they're better together.
Yeah, do you think they're both going to sort of go downhill? Or you think there's potential for them to go uphill from here?
I think that they're both... From a crowd reaction, I think they're both going to fizzle out. From WWE, I think that WWE might push Rusev now.
You think so?
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like maybe they're going to push Aiden English here.
Really?
I don't know, yeah. I mean... Any win that he gets at this point is sort of a push for him because I don't know if you remember, but before he got with Rusev, he was just a straight job guy. I saw him doing 2-minute jobs on Smackdown.
Yeah.
With like no music, like the guy standing in the ring, hey, in the ring, Aiden English, that was him.
Yeah.
And now there he is in a real major angle, turning on somebody. To me, that's a big angle. When you turn on someone, that's a major angle, and he's involved in that now. So, I don't know. I think that, I think Aiden English may be the guy that gets a little bit of a push going forward. I'll say this. I'll take a guy like Aiden English, a guy who's maybe only capable of having a, quote, 3-star match, but does a good job with his face and cuts great promos, as opposed to, say, some of like the 205 Live guys who can wrestle their butt off, but can't cut a promo or make a good face to save their life. That's just me. I think that's the type of person that sells money or sells tickets, and I think that Vince McMahon probably agrees with that too. So that's why I think Aiden English is a guy who has 3-star matches, but can keep your focus whenever he has a microphone. My opinion.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I just can't see it.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to cover? We covered a lot here today. Anything else you want to cover? I know you're sick. Maybe go upstairs, get some medicine. Maybe get a little bit of this medicine right before you go up. Little too sweet?
No.
Not this week? Maybe next week. Maybe.
No.
I'm going to talk to you all week. Next week, we're getting that too sweet.
No.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.